The all-new Chevy Trax has acquired space and size and conveys surprisingly better worth than previously. Its stunning upgrade and improved security highlights improve a once bleak subcompact. Each Trax is front-wheel driven and controlled by a 137 horsepower turbocharged 3-chamber motor and 6-speed programmed transmission. It gets that powertrain from the more modest Pioneer. Its style motivation comes from the fair-size jacket. The new Gen Trax has more back legroom and freight space than previously, and its beginning cost is, strangely, lower than the model it replaces. Perhaps of the most reasonable hybrids sold today, behind the subcompact Kia Soul and Hyundai scene, the Trax is a savvy decision for those hoping to extend a large portion of their new vehicle acquisition. After a short rest, the Chevy Trax is back as a thicker hybrid with additional standard highlights than previously. New all around, the Trax has a more drawn-out wheelbase with more back legroom and expanded freight limit. The Trax is presently presented in 5 trim levels as opposed to only 2. Chevy utilizes the 137 horsepower turbocharged 3-chamber from the Pioneer this time around, giving the Trax 18 less drive than the past model, a critical decrease when you have just 155 horses to begin with. The Chevy Trax offers a few promising additional items without burning through every last cent. The LT is the perfect balance among moderateness and highlights. The LT accompanies a major 11.0-inch infotainment touchscreen and remote beginning, and we'd spend the additional money for the discretionary warm front seats and controlling wheel. Remote Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are likewise standard on LT and up, which makes route and playing music from your cell phone a breeze. Each Chevrolet Trax is controlled by a 137 horsepower 1.2-liter turbocharged 3-chamber motor and 6-speed programmed transmission. It's the equivalent powertrain in the engine of the Chevy Pioneer. This is the just powertrain, and it's front-wheel drive as it were. While the Trax is to some degree bigger in size than the Pioneer, the last Pioneer we tried arrived at 60 miles per hour in a persistence requesting 9.4 seconds, yet it was all-wheel drive. Force comes on low in the fire-up range, and that implies the Trax has sufficient ability to get off the line with some imperativeness, however is to some degree restricted by its drowsy transmission. Regardless of its deficiencies, we'd in any case favor the Trax's more slow moves to the mediocre CVTs in different hybrids. Anyway, we anticipate that the Trax's presentation should be loose. Best case scenario: the 2024 Chevy Trax acquired an EPA-assessed 28 miles per gallon in the city and 32 miles per gallon on the thruway. Those accomplishments are about equivalent to the non-Super Mazda CX-30. The Trax gets better efficiency around the city than the Hyundai Kona. The new Chevy Trax has a totally overhauled inside. Its driver-confronting infotainment screen and environment controls are flawlessly positioned, and the remainder of the inside is comprised of the unremarkable materials anticipated in this reasonable portion. The new Trax has a more extended wheelbase than previously, which has brought about around 3 crawls of extra back legroom and more freight space. Its driving position likewise feels a lot lower this time around and more car-like, which we think about an enormous in addition to. While tech extravagances like remote beginning, warmed front seats and guiding wheel, and a sunroof are trim reliant, these elements assist with perking up a generally corporate inside. Chevy gives the Trax LS and 1RS manages a 8.0-inch infotainment touchscreen as standard hardware, which is as of now a bigger unit than what was recently presented on the fanciest variant of the past age. A 11.0-inch infotainment touchscreen comes on manages LT and up and incorporates a 8.0-inch measure group. This driver war room controls a large part of the new Trax tech like remote Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, an accessible remote telephone charger, and Wi-Fi area of interest. Each Trax comes standard with the Chevy Security Help Driver Help Suite. Key well-being highlights include standard robotized crisis slowing down with person-on-foot recognition, standard path takeoff cautioning and path keeping help, accessible versatile journey control. Chevy's Essential Guarantee Bundle is only that fundamental, however the inclusion of its rivals is as well. The Kia Soul and its corporate cousin, the Hyundai Kona, both deal longer insurance plans. Chevy likewise gives one free seller support visit inside the principal year of proprietorship, which is a decent advantage. Restricted guarantee covers 3 years or 36,000 miles. Powertrain guarantee covers 5 years or 60,000 miles. Free support is covered for the primary visit.